What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Richard Profit. Welcome back to the Profit Realty Group channel, where every Sunday night we talk watches. Quick shot of my new shirt, my T-shirt X. I think you guys really got another winner on your hands with this design here. I'm glad to have it. I'm lucky to be wearing it, and yeah, so shout out to you guys. Now, enough about that. It's Sunday night, so we're talking watches, right? So let's go. So as you saw in the title, Rolex versus the Airline. Now, I want to give you the whole story, right? So sit back, family, pour a drink, and we're gonna get into it. Little scotch. On a night. Cheers, family. All right, so here we go. Let me start from the beginning. So I got a buddy of mine, lives out in Florida. He's got a beautiful house. He's right on the water. He's got 2 boats. He's got a big boat slip in back of his house, and he's got his 2 boats there. He's got a beautiful house out in Florida. Now, this guy was actually my partner here when I used to work for the city. We were partners on the truck, and actually, he is the guy that I credit getting me into real estate, because he started in real estate before I did, and he let me know that it was possible to actually do it, and so he gave me my first initial little push. I mean, even though growing up I had a stepdad that was into real estate, but he passed. Again, I say he's my stepdad, but to me he was my real dad, because he was really the only dad I knew. So even though he was in real estate, but he passed when I was very young. So, yeah, he didn't have time to show me the business. So, this guy, my friend, is the guy that I credit with getting me started in real estate. So, he moved away to Florida. He lives in Fort Lauderdale, right in the water, beautiful house. So, he's got a couple boats, boating community is real big on Fort Lauderdale, right? So, boom. His wife calls Cookie, and she says, "Hey, you guys gotta come out. You guys gotta come out. I'm throwing him a 50th birthday party. It's his 50th, which is a big deal. It's a milestone for a man. I mean, I wouldn't know. I haven't hit 50 yet, but without disclosing my actual age, I am kicking 50's door down. So, with that, I tell you. So yeah, so you guys got to come out. It's your 50th. Cookie tells me, and I said, yeah, you know what? We got to go. We got to go. If it wasn't for this guy, I would have probably never gotten into real estate. Still would have been on that truck right now, and not making this video, talking with you guys. So yeah. So I say, sure, we gotta go. So there's one airline that I love to use. Is actually attached to my American Express card. Whenever I fly, I mean, like everybody else, right? You got a wallet full of credit cards, but whenever I fly, I always book my flight. This card right here. Not only does this card give you a ton of insurances and warranties and all this other stuff, but they give you a $200 airline credit, so you can have drinks and stuff, baggage, stuff like that for free on your flight, right? Okay, so boom. We book our flight, so it's me, Cookie, and Messi, right? King Messi. We're bringing King Messi out with us. So there's no problem. We get there. The guy, you know, my friend has 5 children, and they're all scattered. Like, one is in Florida, I think a couple are here in New York. There's one in like Kansas or something. So whatever, his wife got them all together, and they flew them all out to be for his surprise 50th birthday party. He didn't even know he was having a birthday. She was going to surprise him, right? So boom. So of course we were going to be there. So whatever. Make the long story short, I'll actually include a few pictures of the party at the end of this video. You want to check them out. All right. So boom. We had the party. It's a great party. It's a great success. All his kids were there. He was real excited. You know, he cried when he saw me. You know, he had no idea we were coming out. You know, I mean, we talk all the time, but we really haven't seen each other. We speak all the time on the phone, but, you know, his busy schedule, my busy schedule, you know, we're always running around. We just miss each other. He runs a company, so he's always flying back and forth. You know, he's rarely even stateside. So, to be honest with you, he has a repatriation company, and he has contracts with the major cruise lines, like the big cruise lines, and some big corporations. If you know what repatriation is, right? I'm not going to get into it. That's for another video. So, yeah, he sees me, we hug, he cries and whatever, and you know, we talk about a lot of things, and you know, I can remember working with him on the truck, and you know, working for the city, we were so broke that we used to work in the South Bronx in you know, it was a really bad neighborhood way back when, and you know, I remember we were so broke that there was a little Spanish spot on Davidson Avenue that they used to sell lunches, like that means like a little lunch, Spanish lunch, you know, rice, beans, meat, or whatever. They used to sell lunches for $3, and we would come up with $3 in between us, and we would split one lunch, you know, and yeah, so, you know, you come a long way. Yeah, so we reflected on that a little bit. So to make a long story short, the night went on, you know, longer, kind of like all night, and we were flying out the next day. The next day was a Sunday. That was a Saturday night. The next day was a Sunday. We were flying out because I had to be in court in Manhattan Housing Court on Monday, bright and early Monday morning. So let me just say, I'm notorious for missing flights. Me and Cookie are notorious for missing flights. We have missed many a flight. We miss at least one flight a year, getting there late, or, you know, whatever the case is. So needless to say, we missed the flight the next day on this carrier that we always use, right? So we missed the flight the next day. So I have to, it's like early evening, so I have to get another flight. I have to get another flight, and the next flight on my carrier is late evening, the last flight out at, you know, late evening. I think it was about 11:30. So we wanted just to leave, get home, because I had to be in court the next day. We had to get stuff situated, blah, 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 get back to work. So we go with another carrier. You know, it's another carrier. I like to fly on the carrier that I like to fly on, just because it's very comfortable, and you know, they know how to treat you. But long story short, we use this other carrier. I have to pay, so we buy 3 tickets. We do it on the computer, and we buy 3 tickets, and they're flying out that evening. Boom. So it's me, remember, it's me, Cookie, and Messi, King Messi, right? So we get to the airport. TSA gives us some big friggin' hassle there at the Fort Lauderdale airport. They give us some big hassle, blah, 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 whatever, you know. It was an experience. So they wanted to like separate me and Messi. They wanted to search us. They said I had like some kind of residue on my hand that took forever. I didn't know what that was. Whatever. So we get through that. That took forever. We get through that. I'm already pissed off. So we get through that. We go to the gate. We pass security, whatever. We go to the gate where you give your tickets and your ID or whatever. And so we walk in, we get to the gate, we show our tickets, and the lady says, hold on a second. At this point, I'm carrying Messi. And the lady says, hold on a second. You have to have your animal in a carrier. And I said, no, it's fine. I bought him his own ticket. As a matter of fact, I bought him on this particular airline. You can buy like the bigger, wider seats because their regular seats are just like so skinny. I mean, I'm a bigger guy. I don't fit on that. I'm super uncomfortable. So I paid the extra money for the bigger, wider seats so we all could be comfortable and Messi can just sleep because he doesn't have a problem flying. So they say, oh, no, wait a minute. Your animal has to be in a carrier. And not only does he have to be in a carrier, but he has to be on the floor, under your seat, in the front of your seat, under your seat. I'm like, no, wait, you don't understand. I paid for his, I bought him a seat. I bought him the seat right next to mine. We're sitting together. I paid a regular ticket price for his seat. This is his ticket. And she's like, no, that's not our policy. He has to fly. He has to be in a carrier, under the seat, or you can stow him. I'm like, look. You're delaying me. You're delaying our flight. We have to get out of here. I have to be in court in the morning. Get me your manager. So we're waiting, seems like an eternity for the manager. Manager finally comes over, some attitude. Yeah, and I explained to the manager what's going on. And the manager basically just, regurgitates the same thing that this idiot just told me. Oh no, your pet has to be, in a carrier, and it has to be on the floor, under the seat in front of you. I'm like, you treating Messi like some sort of animal. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, I bought his seat. I paid the exact amount of money for his seat. It was $300 something one way, Fort Lauderdale to New York, Kennedy Airport. $300 something for his seat so he can go comfortable. There's no way I'm putting him in a carrier. First of all, I don't even have a carrier. And there's no way if I had a carrier, I would be putting him on the carrier under the seat in front of me. Or I could stow him. Are you out of your fucking mind? So I'm arguing with the lady. And then she says, listen, it was a lady and a guy right there. And then she said, listen, you have either two options. You can stow him, of course, like I mentioned to you, or you can buy a carrier, come back, and put him beneath your seat. Or you can buy all the way in the back. You can buy the whole back row. It's 3 seats, and you buy your carrier, and you can sit the carrier on one of the seats because you bought the whole row. And I say, excuse me? And he says, yes. You have a Rolex on, so you can afford to buy the whole 3 seats in the back row, and once the plane takes off, you can sit him in the carrier on the seat, and you won't disturb anybody. And I said, excuse me, let me get this straight. Are you discriminating against me because I'm an animal lover? Or are you discriminating against me because I'm wearing a Rolex? Are you discriminating against my dog? Or are you discriminating against my Rolex? And I said, you know what? And I was like, look, never mind. You know what? I'm not going to ride on your fucking airline anyway. So, I was so pissed off at that point. They wanted to put Messi, I'm out. I'm furious at this point. So I'm like, fuck this airline. Cookie, you know, find out when the next flight is. Find out, can we get out of here on my airline, on the, you know, my preferred airline, right? Or my preferred airline. So she finds out that out of Miami, they have a flight on our airline. And it's leaving at about 11 o'clock that night, or 11:30, I forget what it was. So I said, good, we're out of here. Look, fuck you, and I'm going to take your policy, and I'm going to challenge it in the court. Look, that's our policy, and blah, blah, blah. We have a pet policy. I'm going to challenge your policy. You understand? I'm going to challenge you. This is not going to stay like this. So, whatever. We leave. You know, I lose my money for the flight, whatever it was. It was it was $9. You know, it was just about $1,000. It was $300 and change each, so it was about $1,000. So we get out of there. We get a car. We go to we drive down to Miami. We get the flight on our carrier. You know, they're very lovely to us. They're very lovely to Messi. It's no problem. We get on. It's absolutely no problem. You know what I mean? It's no problem. We get home. We get home that night. It was late. We pissed off. Whatever. As soon as I get home, I call American Express. They're 24 hours a day. They're 365. I call American Express. I book the flight on this card again. Of course, I always book the flight on this card. They were so lovely to me. I told them exactly what happened. I said, you know, my pet was discriminated against. You know, I always fly with my pet. I hate to fly, and he calms me down. You know, or else I would just have a huge anxiety attack on the airplane. So I always fly with him, and it's never a problem. When I fly this carrier that I always use, it's never a problem. They're always lovely to me. They're always lovely to him. They ask, does he need a little water, whatever. And but this other particular airline, you know, they discriminated against me. You know, they like hated him for some reason. They hated Messi for some reason, and they treated me like dog shit. And they made reference to my watch. Like, if you have that beautiful Rolex, if you have that Rolex on your wrist, you can buy the 3 back seats. And so American Express was, of course, lovely to us. The young lady on the phone herself, she said herself was an animal lover. And, you know, they're going to put in a dispute with the merchant, and they'll get back to us. Oh, but for right there, immediately, they pulled the charge off my card, and they said they're going to get back to the merchant, and they're going to, you know, go back and forth with them, and they're going to see if they're going to challenge it. And if I lose in court, no, I'm sorry. If I lose, they'll put the charge back on my card. But if I win, you know, the charge will stay off. Oh, as a matter of fact, they had me write up a long email about exactly what happened. So boom, I write up the email, I send it out to them. American Express sends me an email back saying they received it, and you know, they'll notify me as soon as they hear something. Lo and behold, about 4 days later, oh, let me just say, this happened in August, and I'm just talking about it now. I wanted to talk about it right away, but I waited to talk about it until the end. Now it's finally over, so now I'm talking about it. So, lo and behold, a few days after that, a few days after American Express begins to deal with it, I start getting emails from this said carrier. Oh, we're going to offer you a, first of all, there was a misunderstanding, and we're going to offer you a $50 credit off your next round-trip flights to, you know, a domestic round-trip flights. And I'm like, what? Are you out of your mind? You know, are you crazy? No way. You know, well, the first email I didn't even respond to. So they sent it like 3 more times. I responded to the last one, and I said, you know, there's no way. There's no way I'm dealing with that. So I get a couple more emails from them about 2 weeks later. Now, this is going on, you know, end of August, right? This, about 2 weeks later, I get an email from them saying they're going to offer me a $100 credit for hell no, right? So I no longer respond. Now here we are in March. I just received an email from America, and that charge has been taken off of my card, back in August. So I just received an email from American Express saying that the merchant has removed that charge from my account, is not charging me for those 3 tickets, and sorry for the inconvenience. Couple days after that, I get an email from, and American Express says, thank you for being a valued member since whatever, I've had American Express since I've been in business, about 15 years. So I get an email after that from this particular airline. I'm not going to mention their name. I don't want them to come and try to sue me later, but if you're interested, send me an email and I'll tell you who they are. So I get an email from them saying they're sorry for the confusion and that their employees were indelicate to my situation, and they should show more. They should show more compassion and sensitivity to fellow, because of course the one writing the emails is fellow animal lover, and blah 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 blah. So not only are they crediting me those 3 tickets, but they also gave me 3 ticket round trip credit, 3 round trip credits to fly anywhere they fly for the next year. Sorry for the inconvenience. Our employees will receive sensitivity training. All the sort of crap that they sent me, and I'm like, wow, look at that. Look at that. I challenged the airline. Because they saw my watch and they said, hey, buy the whole back row and then you can do whatever you want. And they discriminated against King Messi. So I challenged them. I challenged their policy, and I won. American Express, me and American Express fought hand in hand, side by side, and we won. I challenged their pet policy, and we won. So the next time that you're flying, and you're flying with your best bud, and you're able to buy a ticket for him or her and sit him right next to you on a particular airline, that's because Prophet fought him in the courts. I'm your host with your Prophet. This is the Prophet Realty Group channel, where every Sunday night we're talking watches. And yeah, so I'm glad to share that story with you guys. And I'm glad it turned out right for us. To that particular airline, if you're watching this, if you're watching my channel, read the t-shirt.